alive where everything matters, and they're just going to try to keep doing what they've been doing, but it adds the pressure to the guys in the back like Castroneves, like Sato. They might have good cars under him, but they really got to put them to use now.
No one has really yet to be dominant like we've seen in a lot of races. We've got 5 or 6 guys there that have a shot. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing as that single file field makes its way off of turn number 3, the pace car on pit road, and the pace quickens now as we get to the start-finish line. And Ryan Hunter-Reay trying to force his way around Graham Rahal. Graham moved to the bottom to block him, so he goes up high, Nick Yeoman.
And they both got a good run on Tony Kanaan. Graham Rahal slips to the inside. He'll grab the lead. Tony Kanaan back to second. Then you've got Ryan Hunter-Reay running third. Alexander Rossi grabs the 4th spot. But, Jake, we about had a big mess as Graham Rahal's the new leader at Pocono.
Rahal now with Tony Kanaan just behind him. Last time Rahal took the lead, Kanaan took it right back. But Rahal's going to hold it off as they exit turn number 2. Ryan Hunter-Reay's right there. Now Kanaan slips to the inside, but Tony Kanaan back to the lead.
Pretty easy pass by Tony Kanaan in turn number 3 around Graham Rahal. Hunter-Reay, Rossi, Dixon, Pagano trying to keep pace. Here come the leaders. Rossi now pulling up on Ryan Hunter-Reay. He's got Scott Dixon behind him. That's the battle for third.
Good battle for third. Rossi takes a peek, and now he'll make the pass. He'll dart around his teammate Ryan Hunter-Reay to grab that 3rd spot. Scott Dixon had to jump up the racetrack to try to avoid those two as they went side by side. He'll hold down the 5th spot, but he's got a good run on Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Matter of fact, that good run is going to go to the bottom of the track, and Dixon's going to close that move. Dixon now gets his way around Ryan Hunter-Reay. Graham Rahal going to do the same to Tony Kanaan. Graham Rahal back to the lead.
Yep, Graham Rahal, Tony Kanaan swapping positions now the past couple of laps. Kanaan tries to get a run to the exit of turn number 3. He can't get that done. Now all of a sudden, Rossi hits the button just behind them. Pretty good battle. That's the battle for 4th. Talking about Scott Dixon and Ryan Hunter-Reay.
This is just IndyCar racing at its absolute purest here at Pocono. Graham Rahal, your leader. Tony Kanaan just a couple car lengths back. About 4 back to Alexander Rossi. Scott Dixon, Ryan Hunter-Reay round out the top 5.
Now single file. It is Graham Rahal. Tony Kanaan, though, is literally right there. We'll call it a half a car length from 1st to 2nd. Kanaan to the bottom of the racetrack inside of Graham Rahal. The lead has swapped again. This time it's Tony Kanaan.
Bottom of the racetrack is the place to be through turn number 3. That's where Tony Kanaan was that time. He was indeed able to make the pass on Graham Rahal. As he does so, Rossi, Dixon, Hunter-Reay tighten up behind them. Pagano trying to keep pace as they scream into turn number 1.
Yeah, that front 5 all single file for now into turn number 1. We got to go further back as here comes Takuma Sato. Remember him? He was the pole sitter. He just got around Helio Castroneves, moved Sato up to the 7th spot.
Tony Kanaan entering turn number 2. Graham Rahal right there. Then Alexander Rossi, Scott Dixon, Ryan Hunter-Reay, and Simon Pagano, who has quietly hung right there with the leaders all day long.
Helio Castroneves makes the move around Takuma Sato at the entrance to turn number 3. Again, a tip of the cap to Sato. Your pole sitter fell all the way back to 15th. Now he finds himself back into the top 10. Tony Kanaan, meanwhile, in pursuit of Graham Rahal, along with Alexander Rossi and Scott Dixon.
Pretty amazing. As soon as I get to call a pass down here in turn 1, some of those spots change hands back in turns 2 and 3. Got a nice 7-car breakaway. Graham Rahal leads the train out of turn number 1.
That car is all red. That steak and shake machine for Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan Racing. Looks good here underneath this Pocono sun. So too does the blue that dances off the top of Tony Kanaan's car. Speaking of the top, that's where you'll find Kanaan again. Takes the lead over Rahal.
Makes the pass that time again in turn number 3. Meanwhile, Rossi tries to keep pace, but he loses pace a little bit at the exit of turn number 3. That allows Scott Dixon to start to chase him down. Then it's Ryan Hunter-Reay, Simon Pagano, and Helio Castroneves.
Sun beats down on these race cars here in turn number 1, and they glisten as they roar through this 14-degree banked corner out of turn 1. It's still the NTT data car of Tony Kanaan leading the pack to turn 2.
Kanaan starting to perhaps get a little bit comfortable. His teammate Scott Dixon trying to peek in on Alexander Rossi for 3rd. But if Kanaan was comfortable, perhaps he shouldn't have been. There goes Graham Rahal down to the bottom of the track for the lead again.
A little bit farther back, Carlos Munoz gets a little racy. Just behind him, Joseph Newgarden, Connor Daly as well. Those guys almost got together at the exit of turn number 3. That's the battle for the 10th position. Munoz has it, and Carpenter trying to keep pace with that. Nick well back to the leaders, about 8 spots back. Will Power leads a gaggle of 4 cars into turn number 1.
Oh, they're going to go 3 wide, and Will Power has to jump out of the throttle as Ed Jones made a really deep charge to the bottom of the racetrack. Power's going to get past. That was about a big mess as Will Power and the rest of those cars at the rear of the field, Jake, set up for 2.
The highest running Chevrolet at the moment is that of Simon Pagenaud. Now they're going to go 3 wide in terms of entering turn number 3. Coming at you, Mark.
Here comes the leader, Tony Kanaan. He made the pass on Graham Rahal at the entrance in turn number 3. Again, the front 8 cars are hooked up nose to tail. Little separation for the front 2. Meanwhile, Alexander Rossi being pursued by Scott Dixon and Ryan Hunter-Reay into 1.
Boy, Dixon took a look to the inside. Ryan Hunter-Reay wanted to go with him. Dixon's the only one that's going to move up a spot. Dixon moves into the 3rd spot. Rossi falls back to 4th, but here comes Hunter-Reay. He'll dart that DHL Honda to the inside. They're side by side. Jake headed to 2.
This is the battle for the 4th position, and Ryan Hunter-Reay's going to take it from his teammate Alexander Rossi. Graham Rahal at the front of the field, going to take that lead back. Tony Kanaan falls to 2nd.
Grabs the spot at the entrance to 3 off that long pond straightaway. So put Graham Rahal back to P1, put Tony Kanaan back to the Hunter. Meanwhile, Scott Dixon by his lonesome, he's comfortable. Ryan Hunter-Reay is too. So, Nick, a little breathing room, but they look like they're going to tighten up again into 1.
They just keep trading the lead every single lap up front. Graham Rahal to the outside, streaks out of turn number 1. Here comes Tony Kanaan again. Jake, can Kanaan grab that top spot again?
This might seemingly, Nick, be good for fuel as well, because nobody is running consecutive laps cutting through that air. This time it's Kanaan's turn. He's going to go now inside of Rahal. Dixon tried to make it 3 wide, but Kanaan closed the deal on Graham.
Yeah, Dixon a little closer this time through turn 2 and 3, but he cannot make the pass along with his teammate. So Rahal, he is the meat of that sandwich between the car of Tony Kanaan and the car of Scott Dixon.
Got cars going side by side for the 5th position. That looks like it's Simon Pagenaud. It is. He moves down to the bottom of the racetrack and gets around Alexander Rossi. So move Pagenaud into the top 5, front 3 out of turn number 1 already.
Chip Ganassi's 2 drivers running 1st and 3rd. In between them, a guy that used to drive for him in Graham Rahal. Dixon started to take a look to the bottom of Graham Rahal, then decided not to do so. But Rahal will do exactly that to Tony Kanaan. Put the 15 machine back in front.
Suddenly issues for Alexander Rossi, Zach. He's lost a couple of positions. Elio Munoz just worked their way around him.
Yeah, he just keeps getting shuffled back with each pass. But what I'm impressed with is with Rossi and Kanaan, or Rahal and Kanaan, they keep passing each other in a way that doesn't let that 3rd car draft up to them and join that group. If those 2 keep doing this, they're going to help themselves break away.
142 of 200 laps complete. Rahal, Kanaan, Dixon, Hunter-Reay, Pagenaud the top 5. Castro Neves, Munoz, Rossi, Sato, and Kimball the top 10 here at Pocono.
34 different lead changes in the IndyCar 500-mile race. The ABC Supply 500 from Pocono Raceway. You saw several more in nonstop. Tony Kanaan leading right now, going back and forth with Graham Rahal, Ryan Hunter-Reay there in the yellow.
From the Firestone broadcast booth in Pocono, this is the Verizon IndyCar Series.
Lap 145, getting ready to complete 146. 34 lead changes through 145 laps, and I think half of those have occurred on the last 3 or 4 laps between Tony Kanaan and Graham Rahal. They've got Ryan Hunter-Reay, those front 3 in front of Nick Gilman.
Yeah, and let's remember, I think those lead changes are only calculated at the start-finish line because there's been laps, Jake, where we've seen the lead change hands multiple times on one lap. As for right now, Tony Kanaan leads the freight train to 2.
Kanaan with Rahal just behind him, then Hunter-Reay and Dixon, and then guess who? Elio Castroneves now in the 5th position. Graham Rahal going to take that lead back from Kanaan.
Next verse, same as the first. You're right, Jake. Graham Rahal to the inside of Tony Kanaan takes the lead into turn number 3. Let's find out where we sit in terms of the fuel window with 54 laps, make it 53 laps remaining. Michael Young has more.
Mark Jades, we're going to be very close, at least on my part of pit lane. Will Power probably has the best chance to get it done in 1, just by the simple fact that he's topped off twice during that last caution. The 26, our pole sitter of Takuma Sato, I know definitely has to. Dixon's been short on all his runs, so he'll probably have to stop twice. Dave First, this is going to be a close one.
It's going to be close, and right now the discussion for Alexander Rossi is what kind of changes to make on their next pit stop. He's lost a couple spots since the last restart. They believe it's because the track is heating up, and they just didn't anticipate those changes like perhaps they should. So Alexander Rossi moving back a little bit to see if they can make an adjustment, move back up front in that next 10.
By the way, 2 more lead changes while you guys were updating us on pit road. Zach, an unbelievable pace.
This is crazy. This is what people have come to watch, and it's making it fun seeing the battle between Kanaan and Rahal. And that's some pace that I love about Pocono. Just the straightaways are so long, it gives you the opportunity to draft and pass right as you want to go into the entry of the corner. And that's what we're seeing. Rahal's drafting up Kanaan. He's going to make that also familiar pass into 3 for the lead.
Alexander Rossi has tumbled to 8th after being in contention. Rossi, in fact, Zach, has led 40 laps on this day. Ed Jones running 9th, and he's pulling up on Rossi as we speak.
Right. Rossi has to lead 12 more laps to be able to say he's led the most laps here to get that extra valuable point in the championship.
Nick Yeoman, a lot has been made of Ryan Hunter-Reay in his run today. Elio Castroneves started 20th. He's up to 4th.
Yeah, but he just lost that 4th spot, Mark James, and Simon Pagenaud moved around him to grab the 5th spot. How about that Carlos Munoz driver, Jake Query? He's running 6th there into turn number 2.
And he is running 6th, closing very hard on the 5th place machine of Elio Castroneves. The leaders now going to go 3 wide into turn number 3.
And as they go 3 wide into turn number 3, we'll start seeing them on pit road soon. The first one to go again, Scott Dixon, Michael Young.
I think we're going to see everybody coming soon. They're definitely all going to have to get it done in 2 more stops. The question being Will Power. For Scott Dixon, no changes. 4 tires, good stop, 6.8 seconds.
Again, Takuma Sato was your pole sitter. He fell as far back as 15th in this race. He has been in contention now since the last stint, the 26th, in front of Michael Young.
And for Takuma Sato, he said having a lot of problems getting down that front straightaway. We're slow down the front straightaway. We'll need a change there, so indeed they'll do that on the rear wing, and they'll put a full turn into the front wing as well. Sato down and away.
Exercising patience today, Zach. When he fell back, he didn't push the panic button. He knew it was a long race.
And that's the way to be with experience. You know, with these 500 miles, you only get time under them by doing them. And fortunately, we only get 2 500-mile races every year.
Pit road and Jim Murphy.